Hi guys, it's Latoya here. Listen, let's talk about creating your avatar. This avatar that you're going to create as your ideal customer, you want to know as much as possible about this person, right? And all your messaging is going to be for that person. So for instance, when we talk about Virgin Voyage, they know that their customer on a vacation without children. But knowing this, they also know their hobbies. One of the things that we really gravitate to is sports, and at least here in this cabin and those who are associated with this cabin, right? So we focus in on sports. So anytime that we're on Virgin Voyage and there's a major sport event going on, Virgin Voyage makes sure that they have seating available for the game. They have multiple places to watch said game. In this case, it's football season. They want to make sure that they cater to those fans because they understand that their ideal customer has hobbies that may not be associated with what they offer, but they can offer a sub-service that allows for their customer to actually enjoy the experience of their service even more so. Now it's very windy outside, so it's a lot less people. So right now it's halftime. The Eagles are winning at the moment. So we will see what happens because as we all know, a lot of things can happen in the fourth quarter. Because we watched the Rams have an amazing game, and in the fourth quarter things happen, and apparently we did not watch the Bears game. We thought that the Bears were going to lose, and next thing we knew, it was the Bears won, and it was like, what happened? All in the fourth quarter. So if the Eagles can keep the lead that they have and not let the Niners actually do what they have the potential to do, then they will win. But I think it's all about keeping a level head in the process and doing the job that you're supposed to do. Because we're watching players who were actually on the Eagles team, complain previously about, not being able to do certain things. But then when it was time to do those things during this game, in a playoff game, they didn't deliver what they were supposed to deliver. So that could be a problem. We will see what happens. I'm going to get ready to go watch the second half of this game, and we will see what happens. So the Eagles lost. Talk about a mood changer. Let's talk about why they lost. They lost because they lost faith in a teammate. The teammate that they lost faith in was given plenty of opportunities to make right their wrongs. But at the end, when the chips were down and they needed someone to actually make the plays, they didn't depend on the person who had let them down time and time again. When there is a team member who is not pulling their weight, even after having additional training, it is up to the organization to see if this person is an asset or a liability and make decisions accordingly. When you're playing in a big game, when all eyes are on you, when you have a lot of attention coming your way, your competitors are paying attention to how you navigate. One of the things that is in a business plan, and one of the things also that you should do regularly, is a SWOT analysis. The strengths, the weaknesses, opportunities, and threats of your organization, of your business, of your industry. Paying attention to those things to see where you can improve to provide a better service or product, right? So in this case, it is a game. However, there is an organization in place. This is the Eagles organization. In this case, the 49ers are the competitor. So if they're the competitor and they're looking at what you do well and what you need more assistance with, they're going to target those weaknesses to improve upon their organization, right? They're going to pay attention to the outside factors, the external factors of their organization, the internal factors in your organization, so that they can improve the internal and external factors of their organization, how they run and how they service the clients that they have, in this case, the fans that they have. So these are some things to pay attention to. Doing a market analysis, doing a business plan, being strategic about the moves that you're making to grow the revenue in your business, those are factors that you want to pay attention to, because if you're not, guess what? Your competitor is. Another example of that would be Boston Market. I know we went from football to food, but hey, they go together, right? So they knew that their ideal customer wanted to have home style cooking, but they wanted it to be quick and easy. So what they started doing was roasting chicken. This was a big thing for Boston Market. It grew their revenue. Unfortunately, in the back end, Boston Market wasn't doing what they were supposed to do with their back end office tasks, so it wound up not working, because the supermarkets realized that Boston Market, the chain restaurant, was focusing on roasted chicken. So the supermarket started to provide roasted chicken in the market, taking away the customer from Boston Market to the grocery store. In order for them to enter that market, they needed to do a market entry analysis to see why people were gravitating to that, what the cost would be that they would charge for these roasted chickens in comparison to the competitor of Boston Market. They needed to know the details of that so that they can narrow in and attack that market. And they did that very well. But because Boston Market did not do their back end office work well and their financials were a mess, what wound up happening was a lot of Boston Markets closed. Now, they're not out of business, not as of the date of this video, but there are a lot less Boston Markets now than there were years prior, because the grocery stores came in and took away their ideal client. And the grocery stores have stronger back-end systems put in place that can sustain all the factors and all the moving parts of their business. So when we talk about, knowing your ideal client, that's strategy. When we talk about, making sure that your financials are in order and your back-end office work is in place, that's operations. When we're talking about, knowing your market and the systems that you need to have in place in order to be successful, that's implementation. When we talk about, making sure that your employees know what they're supposed to do and executing it the way that they're supposed to execute it to better your company, that's compliance. That's also strategy, but that's compliance. You see how all those things go together? All those things are things that Elevated Standards can help you with. We want to help you with each and every area of your business so that you can execute and win the game, so that you can outsmart your competitors and succeed. Those are all the things that we help you do. But these are just a few, real life examples for you. All right, guys, that's all I have for you today. I hope that you have a great and amazing rest of your day. Bye now.